when you think of the dark web, think of an iceberg. You see the top part, which is above the water. That is the internet that we all use. Google, Netflix, Amazon. We all use that. And then below the surface is what's called the dark web. Above the surface, everything you do is tracked by your IP address. The dark web, think of it as a place where you can operate in anonymity. So that when you get on there, it's hard for law enforcement to get in there and find out who you are. It really is. And of course, it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a drug dealer or a drug purchaser, it stops you from doing it. If you want to buy arms, it's tough to do that. Weapons is what I mean. So, if you know what you're doing and you go through the tutorial, you can really learn what needs to be done. And you don't use your typical sign-on like I would use Mike Chitwood 1234. You use dots and a cryptic way to sign on it. And the other way that you can explain it is on the real web, on the web above the water, if I wanted to access a website in Georgia, it would just be a direct link to that website in Georgia. On the dark web, it bounces you around a minimum of 3 times, 2 or 3 times. So I may take that request on the dark web, send it to South Africa, to Hong Kong, into Athens, Georgia, where I wanted to go originally to kind of mask my trail of getting into that spot.
Right, the protection of buying it online, initially, when this first came out, again, dark web's been around for many, many, many years. It was first pretty much invented by the military to encrypt code, send messages back and forth and whatnot. So that's how they were doing to protect themselves for intelligence purposes. So like anything else, it's made with good purposes and then it's exploited for bad. Now when it comes to law enforcement on what we do, we're partnered with the Department of Homeland Investigations. Our co-parts are out of Brevard County. Mm-hmm. Any criminal case that we work involving the dark web is usually with them or FBI. We work hand in hand on a task force with these federal agencies because 99.9% of everything we're going to deal with is going to be overseas. And I'll just show you, for example, you have your normal Google account, okay? This is your normal browser to which you would do to get online. What you would do is you would download your Tor browser, right? Tor is very similar to Google. It's just the only way you can access, or one of the ways you can access the dark web. So when you download the Tor and all that, it brings you to another site to where it brings you options. And this is one example of a Tor onion site, okay? So this is the People's Drugstore. I can go on here and I can buy heroin, cocaine, ecstasy, and you just pretty much put in what you want. Full gram of heroin, it's $180 US. So what I would do is I would just go ahead and purchase it, and then what it does is it puts it into Bitcoin, where I have to purchase Bitcoin to pay for it, to where, again, that's one more step of protection, okay? Because Bitcoin, I can hide my identity and it's harder for people to trace it back. Right now, I think one Bitcoin is 6,000 US dollars right now.
One Bitcoin?
Yeah, one Bitcoin is $6,490.
How prevalent is it around here? How many people use it? Can you say?
I couldn't say. And the reason why we partner with federal agencies is 99% of everything we're doing on the dark web stems to overseas. So we've worked cases right now with Department of Homeland Security to where they're tracking these cases to where we've gotten shipments in of fentanyl, of heroin. They're tracking it back to China, and they're executing search warrants in China.
Cialis or some kind of antibiotics.
Yeah, if you say you can go online and you can buy Viagra.
Yeah.
They can go on there and buy it.
Yeah. You go after them too?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if it's illegal here, we're going to come after you.
Because this isn't, I'm standing on a street corner selling drugs. This is, I went to a foreign country who, last time I looked, China wasn't a friend of ours, brought this stuff in and then shipped it out to United States citizens. So I think this isn't a case that should be in our local courts. It's a case that needs to go to federal court, and we need to send a message loud and clear that if you're going to get it on that internet and you're going to bring stuff in from another country and then sell it in ours, this is something the federal government needs to hammer down on. Because if you're doing it with drugs and when you're on, you could do it with guns, you could do it with people, you could do it with anything.